Okay, so good morning. I'm Balazs Csendes. I'm the Security Operations and Response Leader of IBM, covering Central and Eastern Europe. And today I'm going to talk about the threat hunting and investigation with IBM i2. First, let me just give you a very brief overview what Security Operations and Response means in terms of IBM. Basically, these are four pillars. The first is the security analytics part, where we have our solutions. This is mainly anyway QRadar. I hope that you are already familiar with this one. So this is the CM technology, security intelligence technology, vulnerability scanning, and these kind of solutions sitting in this portfolio. Then the threat hunting part, which is rounded in a box. This is what I'm going to talk about today. This is mainly run with IBM i2 solution, which is not a new solution anyway, this is on the market since more than 20 years now. We also have this threat intelligence database. This is mainly the X-Force database, which you can actually use as a free solution. You can very easily check on the internet. So this is IBM X-Force. And the incident response solution, which is roughly 2 years ago acquired Resilient solution sits in this pillar. But today I'm going to talk about i2. So if I want to describe very briefly what i2 is, that most probably you have already seen detectives sitting in front of a large wall. There are artifacts on the wall connected with strings. And this is what i2 does digitally. So connecting the data points in a certain graphs and certain visual tools to enable the investigator to catch the core of the threat. i2 actually started to develop i2 26 years ago at the London Police. Originally it was a desktop solution, helping the investigators to do digitally the very same what they did previously on the wall and connecting the artifacts with the strings. And as the development went on and on and on, basically it became a golden standard in the investigation field. So really everywhere in the world, in Europe, in the US, really everywhere, the police officers and investigators or military officers are using i2 as a golden standard for investigations. So that's where actually the core use cases are coming from, mainly for military intelligence, counterterrorism, open source intelligence, criminal investigations, counter-gang. These are the very basic use cases of i2. Then in the recent years, i2 moved into the space of cyber intelligence, cyber threat hunting space. We already had the tool, we just had to make it usable for this kind of threats. So these are the hottest trends, the new trends, where basically the SOC analysts are running the investigations and using i2 as a tool set for them to see the data, how they are correlated. Let me just give you a brief overview, and this is kind of a good picture what level of efforts you need to put into the investigation with certain tools. So on the very beginning, of course, you have the firewalls, which requires a very low level of human efforts and to stop certain number of threats. So just requires one, SOC analyst, first level SOC analyst, the firewall, and with that one you can actually stop in percentage-wise a really large amount of threats. If you're using let's move to the next one, the middle one, you're using a CM solution, IBM or non-IBM solution, you need to put a little more effort into the investigation parts, requires a tier 2 analyst or incident responders, and you are just, in percentage-wise, you are just getting or stopping not that many threats compared to the firewall. And the cyber analysis, basically, and even a step further, it requires an even more human efforts. You need, let's call them threat researchers or cyber analysts to use these tools. So these are not automated tools. These are absolutely requiring analysts to work on. And you can just stop at an even less number of threats. But the other way around, if we see what kind of damage these threats can cause, then of course the largest ones, basically you can only stop by a correct or a well-defined cyber investigation. So the value, the damage that threats can cause is the other way around. So what data we are using and what data a cyber analyst can use with I2. First, there are of course the very usual IT sources, data coming from your CM solution, your certain alerts, PCAP files, system logs, vulnerability scan results, and so forth. You have certain external data sources like social media, hacker forums, community info, government alerts, etc. And you have some other non-traditional security log sources, like for example badge logs, who is in the building, who is not in the building, phone calls, logs, HR data, reviews of certain incidents. These are also the data what the investigators are using. So what we actually are doing, that analysts are pulling together all these data, we're using some very powerful visualization tools in I2, and that enables the analyst to spot on the heart of the threat. I'm gonna show you a use case where I'm exactly showing how it is doing and what pictures you can see in the real life investigation. From data point of view, you are aggregating this data from your CM solution, your other kind of solution, into a desktop solution or into a client-server environment. Very usually you have some initial starting point. For example, a user behavior analytics solution, what actually triggers you to start the investigation. That's actually the starting point. You got a hint. Yeah, something suspicious here. Okay, you don't know what, you don't know exactly what. That's what you start the investigation. This is very usually a user behavior analytics solution gives you that hint that you should look inside and see what is going on around these people. IBM also has a user behavior analytics solution on top of QRadar, but of course it can be another third-party solution as well. Then you are collecting all these security and non-security traditional data to investigate, to see how this, what is the root cause of these things. I just left this slide here. This is the QRadar user behavior analytics screen. As I said, usually you need a starting point when you are starting the investigation. The first hint that something looks suspicious. You don't know exactly what, but this is why you are running the investigation with I2 later on. So this is how, for example, the IBM QRadar user behavior analytics looks like on your screen. Let me just show you the key use cases, and then I'm going to show you an exact use case of an insider threat, how this investigation is running. So first is the cyber threat hunting, where you are, a net new discovery of correlating low-level alerts and offenses. This is the goal and the value which gives you I2 can bring in. The watch list and vetting, insider threat issues. This is the use case I'm gonna show you, a real example. VIP protection, alerting threats, VIPs, and direct link to the law enforcement. Fraud investigations, this is also very, very usual use case. And threat discovery. So this is an exact case. Basically, this is a real story without names. What happened at one of our clients. This is a very good example of an insider use case. So the first slide is just showing the big picture, what data we are using. First, we have a DLP alert from our CM, in this case a curator solution, where we are having an alert, an offense, that a pretty large amount of data was uploaded onto a Gmail account, sometimes out of office hours. That was just the first offense what the curator actually found, and created an alert for the security analyst. Then we're gonna use also the batch security records when the people are getting in and getting out from the office building. We also used in this example the social media search, in this case Facebook and Twitter information, what the guys has been posted on the internet, HR records, what are the job roles and other information about the involved peoples, printing logs. It was also suspicious that there were hundreds of pages has been printed in some, just in the middle of the incident, and of course the legal team involvement. So what is visible at the very beginning is it wouldn't be so suspicious, and this is what actually the CM solution actually bring into the picture. That was a malware accident, a malware hash found in the middle of a network on this guy called Mallory. In this example, Mallory's PC was infected by a Cozy Duke, and there was a Cozy Duke malware, and the system found this protection and generated the incident. And that the analyst who is actually looking into this case it was a bit suspicious for him, just out from nowhere, just this one PC has been infected by a malware in the same time when actually the user was sitting in front of his PC. So he was there. So secondly, what he did, just to see the big picture, he pulled in the batch data from the electronic readers of the building, of the office building, and did some correlation and examined the last 30 days of batch records. And what he actually found that there were some actually 3 times then the guy was actually too early in the office. So actually came into the office at 5 a.m. and 6 a.m. in the morning, which is quite unusual compared to his records, and also left the building quite late at 9, 10 or 11 in the night on some other days. And actually the accidents, what happened, was exactly on those days when the guy was coming too early or went too late. So the analyst has a very powerful, graphical tool set to visualize all these data and make this unusual behavior visible to the investigator. So here we have the evidences that the incidents are actually happened on the days when he was actually coming too early or too late on those 3 days. But that can be just some coincidence. Meanwhile, the investigator also pulled the information from the social media feeder. So when actually this guy, who was actually a lady, was posting some some bad reputation about her company. So it was clearly visible that she's a kind of unsatisfied and posting some really bad information about her own company. This is also coming, we have this built-in social media feeders for basically all the other social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, and everything else. So if you are putting and pulling all these information together, now the security analyst can see really the big picture, how this whole, and what exactly happened. So here we have this Mallory Cohen. This is the guy who was whose PC was infected with a Cozy Duke malware, and posting some bad things about her companies on Facebook, having some strange badge records information, coming too early and leaving too late from the office. And he is also connected his friends, this called Ronaldo Lima, in Brazil. Most probably they also met because the lady actually traveled there, and so most probably they met. They also found in other records that this Ronaldo has actually purchased Cozy Duke malware on the dark web, and most probably when they met personally, he actually gave it to Mallory, the code, and Mallory was the one who infected and did the infection at this Cambridge office, putting on her PC, and then downloaded the data. So here, actually in this one slide and one screen, you will see the whole story, okay? How these two guys had it done, how they infected his own company, and when. At the end of the story, there's actually this, the whole information was actually shown to this employee, and finally she admitted then she did that. The reason was anyway because this company was in a part of a merging process, actually being acquired by another company, and he wanted to do some bad reputation about the company, losing some data, and then which will cause the acquisition price, dropping down. That was the main cause of the main reason why they did that. Of course, after that, a real criminal investigation started, but the story was about really how we can putting these things together. So other use cases, which is really powerful use cases. This graph is not that difficult like the other one, but the real power of I2 is that it can handle really millions of data and can visualize them in a way that the analyst can see the connecting dots between things. What you would, for example, you would never see that there are connections between two things. Really very easy to use and to learn the tool. Even in difficult cases, I mean, there are sometimes very difficult cases. You need to find the correlation or the dots between the really hidden things. I2 are able to show and to visualize to the user. Another one, this is one of my favorite one anyway, this is the unknown search. So for example, if you have two offenses, two incidents, in QRadar we call it offenses, but in other CM solution you call it incidents. So if you have two incidents, or there are many incidents anyway, and you are questioning that, show me which offense is sharing the same properties, okay? In which that kind of query, is quite difficult because actually there are many offenses around. Each offense has many properties, so questioning which one is sharing the same property is kind of difficult. But with I2, you are able, or the user actually, the analyst, are able to investigate these things and able to questioning the data set with such questions like this. So thank you for your attention, and I'm gonna check later the questions on the website. So post me questions, or just coming to me, and then I can answer your questions later on if there is any. Thank you.